Aditi Phadnis, the political editor at Business Standard, joins us this morning. Aditi, a quick question to you first on the economic resolution document and whether it stood out for you as a document that speaks to a new India.
Well, what is a new India? I also belong to a new India, and so do you. And there are at least 50 years separating me and you. Give or take a few. So it's not new India. There has to be continuity in policy. I think you have very intelligently analyzed all the takeaways that you have done, but some of them are not rooted in reality. You want too much too quickly, and that's not the way India works. We know that. Frankly, I think it's many, many years since the Congress thought of itself and others thought of the Congress as being a socialist party. Socialist in India means statist. And I think the Congress gave up its attempts to be statist quite a long time ago, specifically from the time that the whole privatization stroke divestment program was initiated in 1991. So let's not get involved in isms. I think some of the things that they are revisiting with considerable candor is quite interesting. The fact is that despite the license quota system in, say, coal block auctions, in coal block allocations, we are now faced with a problem of plenty. So clearly the auction route is maybe not the best route. And there you have to give credit to a party that is so ancient that it is willing to revisit its own premises and ask itself whether this is the right way to go for India. Frankly, this is a lot more than what the BJP did when it unveiled its manifesto before 2014, where again it was, era of Amrit Varsha and all that kind of stuff. So the Congress clearly from this document is giving it a lot of thought. There's more that is unsaid than what is said, but whether it's what we want to hear, maybe not, but at least it's thinking about some of the problems rather than admiring them.
Aditi, the counter argument to this being a very robust document would be what Menka also just said, right? That there seems to be a bit of a denial mode into some of the, give or take, ignore my term that way, but shoddy policies. One thing is to not speak about policies which have led to some bit of stalemate in a sector. The other is to come out and say that it was not our doing and being in the denial mode, which is not exactly the best option, but they have chosen to go down that path.
No, but what would you have them do? They're a political party. Would you have them say that everything we did was wrong and we are going to start all over again?
Mention things which were glaring in the eyes of almost all of those key sectors which were plagued.
But do we know what was glaringly wrong? Do we know now, after the Supreme Court has, after the court has acquitted Mr. Raja of any wrongdoing, do we know what exactly went wrong? Do we know why?
I'm not sure I'd agree with that argument, Aditi, because I think criminal conspiracy or criminal charges of corruption are difficult to prove, and whether they got proved or not should not be conflated with the fact that we did suffer for many, many years a discretionary allocation policy when it came to natural resources, and that was a breeding ground for corruption. I'm sure if you've read the coal, order or the telecom order, and I'm sure you witnessed yourself the fact that many of these licenses were given out to companies, especially in coal. It was shocking the way licenses were given out to companies that clearly had political friends. So anyways, I think there can be many views about the document. What I was wondering, and I think the key question both Neeraj and I are asking you, is whether you think that this document represents a resurgent Congress and a Congress that has revived itself enough after the lethargy of the last 4 years to make it a real battle in 2019. And that can be drawn, that decision, your answer can be drawn both from the economic resolution document as well as what you heard of Rahul Gandhi's speech yesterday. What did you make of it?
I would certainly, I think the Congress internally is giving all these pressing problems a great deal of thought, which is heartening. Whether they're right or whether they're wrong, and how they will roll out their prescriptions for fixing problems in the Indian economy, it's a different matter. But the fact is that we have to recognize that everything is not hunky-dory. There are serious problems, and we need people to think about them. Now, I got the impression from Rahul Gandhi's speech, as well as Mr. Chidambaram's speech, as well as other speeches, that there is a lot of thought going on into not just why we lost the elections, but have we done the right thing by India? Have we done what needs to be done? Are we going to do what needs to be done in the future? And yeah, it's all motherhood and apple pie, jobs, ending parent distress. There are actually even hints that the Congress may go back to the idea of loan forgiveness. I mean, Mr. Chidambaram mentioned that in his column, which is a kind of a abbreviated version of the document. So I think there's a lot happening in that party. There's a lot of thinking going on, and we should not dismiss it simply because it's a party which is going deeper and deeper into the opposition and apparently shrinking in political space. Thinking is not the monopoly of a ruling coalition or a ruling government. All thoughts about how India's problems can be solved should be welcomed, and some amount of candor in review also helps a great deal. So I think we have to go into as much the party didn't say as much as it said. And that's a very important element, which more investigation, inquiry, questioning from party people, by people like you and me, will help.